All right, let's talk about one of the biggest questions you're going to face in a backend engineering interview. Seriously, how you answer this one thing can be the decider between getting that offer or getting a rejection email. So let's break down exactly how to nail it.
So there it is. Tell me about a time you took ownership. Look, this isn't just about whether you can code. It's a test of everything else. Your discipline, how you communicate, how proactive you are. It's about your entire mindset. If you get this right, you're signaling you're a top-tier engineer. And this right here, this is going to be your blueprint. So where do you even start? Most people just start rambling, trying to find their way through the story. We're going to do the complete opposite. We're going to lead with a conclusion. Why? Because it immediately shows confidence and that you have a plan. It tells the interviewer you know exactly what a good answer looks like. This sentence right here, this is your one-line summary. It's the thesis for your whole story. You should basically memorize this. It covers all the key pillars of what it means to be a great engineer who delivers, and it shows you get the big picture right from the jump. Okay, now you take that one-liner and you expand it just a little bit into a quick summary. Something like, yeah, so in a recent sprint, I took full ownership of a critical order processing feature. I made sure to break the work down, aligned with QA and the front-end team super early, handled risks before they became problems, and yeah, we delivered it right on time within the sprint, no spillover. Boom. You've just set the stage perfectly. Now that you've got the interviewer hooked, it's time to tell the detailed story. And for that, we're going to use a really simple but incredibly powerful framework, the STAR method. It is hands down the best way to structure your story, so it's clear, compelling, and super easy for them to follow. It's just 4 simple parts. Situation, what was the context? Task, what was your specific job? Action, what did you actually do? And the best part, result, what was the awesome outcome? Each part builds on the one before it, creating this really powerful narrative of your competence. So let's try it out. First up, the situation. So, we were in a really critical 2-week sprint, and my team needed to build a brand new order validation API. It was a must-have for a big business release, and it was tricky. It involved database changes and integrating with an external payment service. See? Clear, concise context. Done. Next up, task. What was your role in all this? I took full end-to-end ownership of delivering the feature. That meant everything from the API design and business logic to the database schema, all the testing, and even deployment support. And the deadline was tight, just 10 working days. This really spells out your scope and the pressure you were under. Okay, now for the most important part of the whole story, the action. This is where you prove you can walk the walk. We're not just going to list off a few things we did. No, we're going to walk them through our process almost day by day to show what real sprint discipline looks like. So here's how that plays out. On day 1, during planning, you not only broke the feature into small tasks, but you also spotted a potential risk with a dependency. By day 2, you'd already designed and shared the API contract with the front-end team, unblocking them immediately. After a few days of coding, you proactively built in some fallback logic to handle that risk you identified. Then you brought QA in early, and on day 10, you delivered. No chaos, no last-minute rush, no spillover. This really shows the difference between a proactive engineer and a reactive one. You see, you weren't blindsided by some unstable service down the line. You planned for it. You didn't leave the front-end team blocked for a week. You enabled them on day 1. And you didn't just throw your code over the wall to QA at the last minute. You made them a partner from the start. This right here is what excellence actually looks like. Finally, you'll land the plane with the result. The feature was delivered on time, right within the sprint. It passed UAT without a single issue and was released to production smoothly. That's a great outcome, but we can actually make it even better. Here's the pro move. Add a real metric. And beyond just the smooth delivery, the new API actually improved our order success rate because it reduced validation failures by 20%. Whoa. Now you've just connected your technical work to a real, tangible business impact. That is absolute interview gold. So let's just take a step back and think about why this whole structure is so incredibly effective. It's not just the story you're telling, it's about the powerful signals you're sending with every single word. Your story literally maps to all the things they're looking for. You didn't just write some code, you showed ownership. You proved you have sprint discipline, that you handle risks proactively, and that you know how to collaborate. But most importantly, you proved you have a delivery mindset. You are focused on getting things done right and on time. Now, a really great answer is always going to lead to follow-up questions. And that's a good thing. It means the interviewer's engaged and wants to dig deeper. So let's get you ready for the two most common ones they'll throw at you. You can almost guarantee they'll hit you with a what-if scenario to see how you handle pressure. Something like, okay, this sounds great, but what if things went wrong and the whole sprint was at risk? Your answer should be totally calm and strategic. You say, my first move is always to communicate that risk as early as possible. Then I'd immediately work with the product manager to see if we can maybe reduce the scope. And if that wasn't an option, we could look at splitting the work to make sure the most critical part of the feature still got delivered. That shows maturity and that you're a pragmatist.
All right, the next classic follow-up is all about blockers. What do you do when you're totally stuck just waiting on someone or something else?
And again, your answer is all about being proactive. You say, I escalate the blocker to the right person right away. But I never, ever sit idle. I immediately pivot to another parallel task from the sprint backlog to keep my momentum going and make sure absolutely no time is wasted. That's efficient, it's professional, and it's exactly what they want to hear. And that brings us right back to where we started. This one sentence, it's the core of everything. It's not just a line to say in an interview. It's a whole philosophy for how to be an effective, reliable, and just plain awesome engineer. It's your commitment to excellence, all wrapped up. So there you have it, the complete playbook for absolutely mastering the ownership question. You've got the structure, the story, the details, and the follow-ups. The only question left is, how are you going to use this to tell your own amazing story of success?